Hello, everyone. This is Clinton Hitman, your captain again. We're in the Yucatán Peninsula, and I don't know why. Well, I wanted to go here because of the Aztec stuff. I wanted to see if I could find some pyramids, interesting things. I see I guess, a volcano there, and so this is different than Google Earth. This is the Microsoft Flight Simulator, so the terrain and how it looks is different than Google Earth a little bit. They both have their ups and downs. And I'm pretty sure that there are some Mayan ruins in Cancun or whoever. So I was kind of looking over there just to see if I could find anything, and I'll find some weird things. You can see all those lines in the middle of the woods, all those roads. I wonder how long those have been there, because they're just perfectly straight. If they were put there before technology, these are as straight as technology can give us now. So, I don't know. This looks pretty interesting. Let's take a look. Yeah, so I'm of Spanish descent. My last name is Garcia. So, uh, you know, just growing up with friends and going to school, you kind of are told, like, oh, this is where you came from. This is what it was like. And I was always fascinated of the pyramids in the middle of the jungle, and supposedly how many people were in those civilizations. We say now, oh, it's full of jungle. Well, maybe it wasn't all full of jungle at that time. And over, a century or centuries, it's just grown into that. Right off the bat, you can see, look at that neighborhood right there. You see grids in the trees, like right there. There's nothing there now, so there was something there at one point. And for the roads to be lasting that long, for what, 1,000, who knows, like 1,000 years, and that's pretty dang good. I'm sure we keep it clear now, but look at that. There's just grids all up in the jungle. This whole thing could have been a city, and we don't even know. I'm about to circle back. You can even see from here, and it extends the whole way from the coast, and it just goes out. You see a faint line now, and it's almost like the thicker the jungle, like the less you see. So obviously, if you get rid of the jungle, maybe the more we would see. I know animals and birds and stuff live there, but we need to know what was there. Like, see, I don't know, I kind of just saw like a circular dirt area that could have been a bomb that went off there some point a long time ago. There's a square patch right there on my right, like the bigger one. And I'm just kind of just soaring over, taking a look, and this is just crazy. All that right there. Everything there that we see was probably some sort of city. Isn't that crazy? It's just absolutely mind-blowing. I'll show you some more pictures later to kind of help you realize a little bit more what I'm thinking. Is that this whole thing, maybe, yeah, sure, there were some areas that had like vegetation, but I mean, with the pictures that you're about to see, I mean, this whole thing could have been populated. And it's really exactly like Tartaria, where up in that region is just nothing but, well, nothing. It's nothing but nothing up there. Some part, like most of Canada, right, is nothing but nothing. All dense trees, just completely covered over everything that was there. And this big ass road, it goes across the whole thing, and it's 100% straight. All these old roads, all these old grid communities. I mean, that's an old neighborhood right there. If ever you see all the little glitching, that's because I'm taking some screenshots. But look at that. I'm just going right off the road, and it just dies completely. I don't know. What do y'all think? I mean, to me, this whole thing, like I said, was just all cities. I mean, just imagine. Look at that. No one there now, but there was something there. It's that double-sided road. One going one way and the other, traffic going the other. And it just disappears. Look at that big, I mean, man, it's just... And you're not telling me they haven't LiDAR'd this thing. You know what I mean? Laser, whatever. Where they just completely just scan this whole thing. You know they see everything. But no, nothing. They don't want to tell us nothing, of course. Weird circle thing there. That's like a Stonehenge, a Mexican Stonehenge right there. That's out in the middle of nowhere, like literally out in the middle of nowhere. There's a circle next to this. I mean, all these lines just perfectly 100% even, straight. I wonder how long those roads have been there. I mean, hey, I don't know. I wasn't there in the 1850s or even earlier. If, you know, maybe they went by the sun. Maybe they looked at the sun and just made the road straight. Maybe they just walk in complete straight lines there like that. I mean, I got some family property in West Texas, and none of our walking paths are completely straight. Like, I can guarantee that none of our walking paths are straight. I don't even think our fence line is straight. But yet all this out here in the middle of the jungle is. Yeah, so I got pretty lonely. I'm gonna mess around with this guy. At the same time, just look at how completely straight everything is. I mean, it's just as plain as day. You see grid patterns disappear into the jungle. What do you think? I mean, that road goes as straight as I've ever seen. I don't think there's a highway in America that goes that straight for that long. Seems like that just runs across the entire continent. Or, I mean, whatever it is, peninsula. Or, no, whatever Mexico is. It just goes right across. It turns up there a little bit, but, I mean, yeah, it's just another thing to point out. I mean, that would have to be something to look into, like go on Google Earth and take a look and see if there's any Wikipedia information, but that's as good as you're gonna get. Is just from up here, just taking a look and just realizing how straight some of these roads are going across the entire terrain. All right, done messing around. Let's get out of here. Let's take a different look at where I think all these roads are going to. I mean, look at that. There's like there's like 60 up there, 120. You're looking at like hundreds and hundreds of pyramids. And now the grid pattern going everywhere makes complete sense. You see even the straight lines that go across the mountainous ranges, you know, they need a direct path to go to the other pyramid, I guess. And this is just that one little southern part of Mexico. I mean, just imagine what the rest is like. That's just one photo I found. And you really don't find too many. If you're looking up for lost roads in Mexico, you really don't find much, but they give you little clips like this. And look at that, you would not be able to tell without something like that. I mean, we flew over that little area and it's all green, you see? This is from Google Earth. There's just a square some high school kid found that on Google Earth or whatever. Went and go checked it out, and yep, of course. So, I mean, it's just impossible to see that stuff sticking out as you're flying over. It's just surrounded, engulfed in trees, where there's been covered up with a big mudslide, and then the trees grew on top of the mud, as you can kind of see right there. See? It's like mud covered it up, and then the trees grew on top of the mud. It's pretty much as plain as day. You see the trees just, I mean, trees don't grow off of brick, so there had to have been some covering of soil. And you see here, this is exactly what I'm talking about. This is in that area, and you can just dig anywhere, I bet, and find stuff. It's just if we go looking, you'll find stuff like this. I mean, maybe not. You'll probably die trying to go find these places. But, man, this was made by a different kind of people. Like, 100%. Imagine a big old giant sitting in there, just boom, sitting there. And, you know, he gets to scratch his back on that big waterfall, wash his hair, big old giant. Anyways, tune in because I got a bunch more coming.